The conflict between good and evil has always been at the forefront of biblical stories, morality plays, and mythology. And here, Tamara and the Shadow Theater of Java employs over 200 figures, each encompassing a unique human characteristic. Dating back to the 10th century, this multicultural Indonesian art form is rooted in the ancient belief that ancestor spirits return to Earth at night, inhabiting the puppet's shadows.
The cotton cloth, of course, is the universe. The puppets are the people. The dalang is the god in whose hands everything happens. And the shadows are the spirit or the soul of the puppets. And the story is really the story of life, the cycle of life. Symbolically, you enter this world where the tree of life starts out of our religious source, our spiritual source, and then continues on and has the branches, creates our family and our environment. It was so said in legendary history that someday a prince would come, Rama, on his bird Garuda, came to the island of Java. We have here a shadow theater that is perfect and perfectly imbalanced. This is the positive energy, and when the dalang turns it around, we have the negative energy. Some of the puppets have human hair. There is a fantastic little puppet called Gareng.
I have just a little bit of hair, you see?
The puppet maker takes a piece of his own hair, ties it up to Gareng's head.
While the Javanese kings recognized the role that shadow theater played in teaching Hindu philosophies, so did the Catholic and Protestant missionaries who settled on Java as they introduced Christian beliefs.
Christianity took a hold in the Spice Islands because of the Western influences. And the Westerners wanted to bring their religion in. And they used the dalang also as the storyteller to tell the story of Christ, to tell the story of Mary and Joseph. The only Javanese-born woman dalang, or shadow master, performing outside of Indonesia, Tamara has chosen a profession that has not only been dominated by men over the centuries, but also controlled by them. It was customary for centuries that the women and children had to remain in front in order to experience only the spirituality and the shadow. But the men and the boys could get up during the performance any time and go back and forth, and usually they would stay in the back because that is where they could see the dalang at work. They could see how it was done, how he fumbled sometimes, and how he created his narration.
And in August of 1999, Tamara for the first time performed in her homeland.
I have come back to you to make you my queen.
Tamara's personal inner strength was realized as a child as she survived Japanese concentration camps for women in Java during World War II.
I spent 3.5 years in several camps, which was a terrible time. It's like a black page in my book. But at the same time now, I reflect on it, and I think that that was the most important forming years in my life. Very hard years, very difficult to talk about, but the more I talk about it, the more I see that that is where my strength comes from.
They are flying to their kingdom on the island of Java.
If you think of yourself as the tree of life, you are life, then we have the positive and the negative forces in us, which are both extremely strong. They are the most powerful forces. But if we have both of them united into one, we are much, much stronger.
In Northport, I'm Annette Foldis for Island Alive.